This is Tosh. She was going to school to be a dental assistant, but she loved climbing and dreamt of doing it full time. So she quit school and went all in. It really paid off because now she's a professional climber and sponsored by many brands. We joined her in American Fork, Utah to learn how she trains at the climbing gym, both on and off the wall. Hi, I'm Sarah, and welcome to Send Edition, where we help you feel more confident and climb better. Stay tuned as Tosh shares how she trains to be such an incredible overhang crimp climber. But first, I had to ask her a very important question.
So Natasha, what's your least favorite type of hold and why?
A sloper, because they're slopey.
A primary key to Tasha's outdoor climbing success is frequently climbing outdoors and working on her big projects. But today, we're visiting the local gym to join in on one of her training days, starting with her go-to on-the-wall training.
My favorite thing is always endurance.
It's important to build endurance no matter what type of climber you are. Rope climbing requires you to make many moves without resting, so that may be more obvious. But boulders, listen up. We frequently neglect this training, which often results in burning out faster and not being able to climb as much at higher intensities.
My favorite endurance workout is actually 6 in 6. So what that is you do one boulder problem per minute for 6 minutes straight. I like doing that on the boards, mirrored boards especially, if possible, because then you can do one problem, flip it, and then do the next.
For those of you who don't have access to a board, hang tight because we have an alternative for you.
With this drill, or this exercise, I guess, you normally end up with about 20 to 30 seconds of rest at the end of each boulder problem. So that allows you to do a slightly higher intensity boulder problem than you might in other endurance workouts like 4x4.
One thing that stood out to me while Tosh was doing this part of her workout was how hard the routes were that she selected. Often, she'd never done them before, and the moves seemed almost out of reach. It really goes to show that if you want to see the best results, you have to push yourself hard. Feeling crushed at the end of this drill seems almost like one of her goals.
I usually use the Crimped app made by Lattice. I just use the free version, but it has the best timers for all the different endurance workouts. But when I go to the workout, it gives me a little countdown, and then out loud, it will tell me when to get on the wall. So usually I'll use headphones for this, but you can hear it gives me a little countdown as I'm getting on.
What if you don't have access to a board, or board climbing seems a bit out of your reach climbing-wise? Luckily, this drill can be done on any route throughout the gym. If needed, repeat the same route.
Climbers around the world are dying to know your off-the-wall training segments. Later, she's going to share with us the secret to sport climbing head game. I could definitely use. But first, we're going to do a rapid-fire questionnaire.
Let's do it.
And you have to answer truthfully because those Cheeto dust-fingered, trolls, they're definitely going to comment with directions.
Okay.
What song do you listen to on repeat during your workouts?
X Gonna Give It To Ya by DMX.
What's one piece of climbing gear you can't live without?
See my harness.
Other sport would you have pursued if not climbing?
Competitive jump roping.
Coffee or tea, how do you take it?
Coffee and just a little bit of cream, no sugar.
So what's your biggest fear when climbing?
Like falling weird, awkward.
What's one movie you can watch over and over again?
Zoolander.
What's your climbing hero or inspiration?
Lynn Hill.
If you could have a superpower, what would it be?
Being able to lower gravity. Just to work crux moves, then I would do them on full gravity.
What's the best location you've ever climbed at?
My ultimate love is always American Fork.
Pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
Oh no.
What book are you reading right now?
Ethics in the Real World. Small essays about different ethical issues.
What's the funniest thing that happened to you while climbing?
This was before even clipping the first fold. I put my hand in a pocket and a bird flew out of it.
What's one climbing myth you wish you could debunk?
You don't have to have a perfect lead head in order to climb hard and push your boundaries and still go outside and have fun.
Now that we know all of your secrets, the Cheeto trolls have logged off in defeat.
Awesome.
Let's dig into your off-the-wall training regimen.
Hey, let's do it.
Later, she's going to share with us the secret to how she has such an incredible mental game while sport climbing.
Working on it.
So stay tuned to learn that.
Tosh's favorite routine includes 5 exercises. I even give a couple a try to see how hard they are. Starting with hangboarding. Endurance is her focus, so she goes for longer hangs at 20 seconds with 40-second rests. Unlike some of her other exercises today, she doesn't complete other workouts between her reps.
And see, I probably could do my knee tucks, but I bet they would be
I wouldn't have as good a quality, or I wouldn't be able to do as many, and then my arms would be tired for next hanging, you know, just because I want to make sure I keep like my good form and like, you know, I'm not getting lazy with it just because I'm tired.
If you haven't tried hangboarding before, you can still do this exercise, but consider keeping your feet planted on the ground to minimize risk. There are still 4 more exercises in this workout, including high pull-ups.
Using the band so I can try and get a little higher up.
Notice how these are not slow and steady. Instead, she's using massive momentum to build her power strength. She does her last set without bands, and soon she'll be strong enough to do more reps without bands. Between each set, she completes her squat jumps. To best support climbing explosiveness, the starting position includes her bum touching her ankles, then a full explosion to get on top of the box. I was really curious about this exercise, so I decided to give it a try. Even with form modifications to make it easier, I found the mental side of the movement really hard. I thought I was going to scuff my shins or maybe smack my head into the pole.
But that's where the commitment comes in. And that's why I love those, is because they're scary feeling. It feels like you're about to just like biff it, and then you do it and you're like, oh, now I'm up here. Yeah, you got this. Fully commit. Good job, way to commit. That's the whole thing. Yeah, good work.
The last 2 exercises are sliding lunges and knee tucks. For the sliding lunges, she tries to stay as low as possible the entire time and completes 4 on each side. Between each set, she does knee tucks. This exercise looked especially challenging, so I decided to try it out. And yes, maybe I'm weak, but I don't think so. I think most average climbers would struggle to do this too.
Yeah, so I don't know if this will make the difference for you, but for me, when I was trying them at first, I was really focused on keeping the straight arm. So I was coming from here, still engaging, but it felt like when I start moving, my upper body moves, and it kind of hurts my elbows a little bit too. So what I had started doing is actually just going past that a little bit. So we're engaged here. I'm not pulling up, I'm just engaging a little bit more. Like think about that analogy of breaking the bar. That's all I'm doing to get that extra little bit right there. And when I have that, I feel like I can keep my upper body a lot more still while I'm going for it. So it feels like you're a lot more stable. That also helps with front lever variations. I'm not great, but I'm getting there, and that's what's helped me get closer to the front lever. It's hard. And so, yeah, think about just bringing them up. Don't think about trying to get them all the way there. Just crunching as hard as you can with them. Yeah, and that was better engagement. The first one looked like you locked off a little bit. That one looked more like it was just engagement. It's hard to kind of like play with that different.
Though I never quite got the movement, I'm excited to try them again soon.
Good job though, really good job. It's hard.
Tosh is known for being an incredible sports climber, especially when it comes to your mental game, which she's going to share her secret along with 3 steps you can take. But first, we're going to spin the wheel.
Ooh, okay.
The Flash Challenge. We're going to see who is the Flash Challenge victor, most competitive, important challenge of this entire video.
Okay.
So go ahead and give it a spin.
Oh, that's a powerful spin. Oh, spin again. Tic-tac-toe.
Tic-tac-toe. Okay. Yeah, you're going down. So I am definitely going to win. At least I can do something in this video.
Find out who wins the Flash Challenge of Tic-Tac-Toe right after this.
Okay, so the moment is now. You're going to share with us really the ultimate secret, the whole reason you guys are still watching, besides our awesome questions and incredible training regimen. What is your secret to being such an incredible sport climber?
Big secret I feel like a lot of people wouldn't know about me is that I'm scared a lot of the time while I'm on the wall. Even if you're afraid, you can get on things that are hard for you. There are ways that you can still push yourself physically and mentally to break through that fear.
Okay, yeah, I'm excited because you're going to share with us 3 things that you do.
Okay,
I do that. And this is really applicable for me because sport climbing, is the fear aspect. It's 100% mental for me.
Yes.
Is what's holding me back is what I've identified. So
yeah.
Share
And I still get held back by fear plenty. So don't think that it's just something that goes away all of a sudden. That's another thing. I feel like people think like, oh, once it's gone, that's when I can push myself. So don't wait for that moment. The biggest thing I like to do is try and get rid of that fear of the unknown. So if I'm afraid getting on a new climb, a lot of times I will plan on going in direct, flipping up above myself, just kind of pulling through moves so that I can get up the climb and get rid of the fear of the unknown and just that exposure, feel the holds up there, just kind of get comfortable being up on that climb in general. That's the biggest thing I would say that has helped me. And your first attempt is going to feel completely different than your second or third attempt. So just because you didn't pull any of the moves on that first attempt doesn't mean that you can't pull moves. So the next one I would say is kind of similar, but rehearsing crux moves. So once I have figured out the moves, I do know which holds I'm going for, I do know how I'm gonna clip, I rehearse those moves again and again. So on the climb, both on the climb and on the ground actually. Okay. So for doing it on the ground, video is huge. I love getting video of myself. That way I can watch it right before I get on the climb, really visualize myself doing the moves, or even at home. There are plenty of times I've fallen asleep watching myself fall off of the same move, but plan on, okay, now I'm gonna watch it from when I get back on and stick that move and try and remember that. But knowing that you have those cruxes wired or the tricky clips, a lot of times I'll clip up above and then maybe mime the clip a few times so that I can feel confident in it. That helps so that when I do get kind of afraid, I can dig deep and say, okay, I've done this move before, I can do it again.
Love that. Okay, definitely going to use that the next time. And I like the kind of the mental aspect of it's a rehearsal.
Yes. Yeah.
That it kind of feels like it takes the pressure off a little bit.
Yes, and that kind of leads into the next point, which is communicating with my belayer too. This is Carolyn Morgan. She's been my climbing partner for probably the past 5 or 6 years. We get out all the time, go crush it. So that's the last thing that I'd say really, really is important with my mental game is I tell my belayer hey, I'm going to take at this bolt, or maybe I'm afraid at this bolt, so it's going to be a quick clip. If I get too scared, I might take the fall. Just communicating that with them beforehand and voicing that I'm afraid, getting it out loud can make a big difference in actually going for it. Sometimes I'll say, okay, I'm going to get there and I'm going to take. But then I got there with such low pressure that I feel good enough to keep going. So that's exciting when that happens.
I love that. And talking to the belayer ahead of time so you know that they know that you might be taking right there.
Yes, yeah.
Prepared to pull in and everything like that.
Or a lot of times, my belayer will, at that point, instead of being, they will be ready to take, of course, but they know that they can say, Tosh, you got this, I'm right with you. And those few words sometimes can mean all the difference. Of just oh yeah, okay, I should at least go for the move. Or you're safe. That's a really good one I like to hear.
I love that. Thank you so much. Okay.
You're welcome.
Now for the ultimate flash challenge. Who will be victor and get bragging rights?
We just pulled tags to see who goes first. I got high, so I get to go first. And I'm going to be X's. Hey. Okay.
Oh, no.
Good.
Should we do a rematch?
Yep. Okay, you get to go first this time.
Okay. We're just going for that guy then.
All right. I guess I'm going to go for the same square digit earlier.
Okay. I know I always go for the middle guy. And a lot of times that can end in a cap.
I have an idea.
Okay.
These are eyes. We've got V cards. They're what they use here at the gym for how hard the routes are. Highest wins. Put your hand out.
Okay, I'm going to shuffle through this time. Last time I just took the first one. Yeah.
I'm going to be honest.
Oh! Good job. Good win. Flash challenge victor.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Share this with your friends who want to train for climbing too.